everybody out there in YouTube land. Where have I been? Well, right here. The last video I put up, I think, one of the last ones, I mentioned that I had been told the hospital I work at is closing, and as of the end of December, I would be unemployed. So I quick went out, and I had heard of a job that was at a retirement home 8 minutes away from here. So I went out, all excited, and the whole way I'm saying to myself, if God closes one door, he opens another. Is this the door that I'm going to walk through? Long story short, I put an application in. A couple days go by, I talked to my one boss at where I currently work, who told me about the job. And he said, actually, by the time I had put the application in, I guess they had already hired someone. I guess they do things different these days. Most people call and say thank you for your application, but we've already filled the position. Or they take the posting down, so people like me don't waste our time going to some place to fill out an application for a posting when they filled it days before. So maybe that's not where I was supposed to go. So back to work I am. We've been on the news, we've been in Facebook, we've been on newspaper articles. It's really getting intense now. And we had a rally with the union the other day, and a couple of lawmakers from our county were there. I'll show you a little blip of some stuff that happened at the rally to save the hospital.
Care providers are now fighting back against the closure of a hospital in Irving. The TLC Lakeshore Hospital is set to close its doors for good next month.
Officials announced the closure 2 weeks ago. That spokesperson goes on to say the center will close January 1st.
And so here it is, December 21st. And at the beginning of the week, we were given a notice that the emergency room area and the mental health unit would remain open for 1 more month. At first, there was speculation they were going to leave us in place until January 16th, but the schedule came out all the way to the end of January. And it's being said that because there are still patients in the mental health unit, that they can't close the entire place down until they've all been transferred or discharged. The outpatient services are done as of January 1st. So people who would come in to get blood work and other services will no longer be able to do that. They'll have to find another place to go. So there's a lot of speculation if anybody is buying the building to turn it into something else. We're always hopeful. But at least at this stage of the game, instead of being unemployed as of December 31st, it's now pushed forward to January 31st. So I'm still hanging in there. I'm still trying to be positive. And I can tell you that this has happened to me many times. I've lost a job for a variety of reasons. And the depression that comes with it is pretty overwhelming. And you do your best to put on a smiley face, but when you're home alone by yourself, that's when it really creeps up on you. And you have to fight it off. And one of the things depression does is prevents you from enjoying things you normally enjoy, like my crafts. So I have to get up every day, have a pep talk with myself, do some praying, and then get my body moving to do things that I normally would do when I had a job that I was not worried about. So one of those things was the chest, which my video for it, I don't know why it came out so crappy, but I have a really old sander. And what I had done was on the top part of the chest, the slats were so warped and there was such gaps in between each slat. I ended up making up a putty with water and wood glue and sawdust, real fine sawdust, and kind of plastered it in there. And when it dried, it's dried hard as a rock. And I'm really happy. So there's no more give on that chest top at all. And so I've begun sanding it. So I'll show you that kind of crappy job that I did this morning because the camera wouldn't focus for some reason. But I went through for some reason. I keep popping off the sanding belts. I popped off 3 of them, and there was enough of the little tape that it joins them together that I was able to super glue them back together and reuse them But now all three of those have broken again, and I don't really see a way to super glue unless I put something behind it. So I'm down to, I think, my last 3 sanding belts. And I got a lot of sanding to go on that chest, but I'll show you that, and then I'll show you some other stuff I'm doing. So, on top of working on that chest in between times, I finished my one granddaughter's blanket. It's shades of blue and white, and started another one for my other granddaughter, and hers is a kind of a mix of different colors. And I'm doing hers in a different way. Up to now, I've been making granny squares and attaching them all together. The one I'm doing right now is just continuous crocheting. I'm going to do them in 4-foot lengths. They're about that wide, and then join them all together later for one blanket. Baking, I did the Christmas cookies the other day, and my sad looking cutouts because I only had 2 cookie cutters. I did round ones, and I had a little plastic angel. I was supposed to get some cookie cutters, and apparently I forgot to buy some, so I had to make do with what I have. The kids don't care. They'll frost them and eat them. And the wax, which started out as blocks that look like rocks, and I've been working on it for months and months. I think it was July did I start? And I just got done the other day. What I've been doing just forever and ever, I had cleaned it all off, all the dirt and stuff off the wax, and then I was melting it in a little crock pot. And I had little ice cube trays, and then a friend gave me a silicone tray that made little blocks, squares. And I've been melting the wax and putting it into those forms and throwing it in plastic bags. And I finally melted all of it, aside from all the candles that I made and gave to my coworkers and family. And I put them in bags, and I went through the other day, pulled them all out, sorted them out by the different colors that they are, because there's that dark brown to almost a burgundy kind of color, all the way to the golden color, kind of a color, and even some of them that are some kind of white wax, which I'm not sure what it is. But all the rest, it's all beeswax because it came from the bee farm. But anyway, I weighed them all out in like 1 pound packages, and I think I have an accurate count. So they're all weighed in little packages. I had to keep buying more and more little Ziploc bags, but I finally put them all in boxes and stacked them all up, and now I gotta find a place in the garage for them. The next step with them is I want to make the furniture paste that I've seen online people are using beeswax for. And I saw the one mixture is like 1/3 of melted beeswax, 1/3 of mineral spirits, and 1/3 of boiled linseed oil. So I'm not going to get to it today, but that's my next project, and I have some empty tins to put it in and try and see how it works, because I want to use it on the chest whenever I get done with the chest. So that's what I've been doing up until this point. I also talked about our flooding, which we've now had, I think, 4 of them. This is what it looks like when it snows and floods at the same time. Yep, a frozen lake. We ended up with, I think, a total of something like 8 to 10 inches of snow, and I had to go out and find a spot to put the bird food out for the poor little birds. Every year where I live, the fire department decorates all their emergency vehicles, the fire trucks, just all their vehicles. They decorate them all with lights, and they have a Santa Claus on the truck, and they make the rounds through Sunset Bay, and then they go down the highway to the town nearby, and they throw out candy for the kids. I go out, and I'm the only one out here by myself, and I wait for them, and I record them. And here they come. And I figure if they're going to go to the trouble to come out in this freezing cold to do that, I'm going to stand out there in the freezing cold and let them know they're appreciated. This one truck, I noticed somebody waving at me from the top of the truck. And it wasn't until I had checked my camera and found out who was on top of that truck waving at me. It's the one that's coming up right here. This truck, there's somebody up there waving, and I had two cameras going, and the second camera got him. But you can just barely see him. There's somebody up there. There he is. Wait a minute. Wait. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. And lastly, I think what I wanted to talk about was there's a lot of talk on YouTube about the channels that are going to be deleted due to lack of revenue. There's a lot of people like me who just throw up videos. We have no intention of making any money because nobody really watches them. But there's a lot of talk that YouTube's going to start deleting channels that don't make a profit for them or bring in any revenue for them, which I guess it could happen, it couldn't happen, I don't know. But the reason I started my YouTube channel, and I said it before, was back when I was a kid, we had reel-to-reel tape recorders. We had Brownie cameras. Then we had Polaroid cameras, and we had the cameras, and I used to spend so much money on them. You put the cartridge in, take a picture, and you stood around and waited for it to develop. And then as years went by, they turned into crap. As most of my older pictures that I have, you can barely see what's on them. And time progressed forward where we ended up with DVD players and different modes of recording rather than just the simple pictures. So now they have phones that do everything. But and the chance that as time goes by, that if I had tried to take pictures and do videos to show my grandchildren, or so they could see when I'm no longer here, I was worried that the media would outgrow anything that I could leave behind. And so I stumbled on the idea of putting videos up on YouTube, thinking that as time goes by and the years pass, it would be updated in a way that they would be able, after I'm long gone, still be able to go and see my videos. And so I kind of did that, and it got to be more advanced to where I met people on YouTube, and we shared ideas and friendships. And I keep doing it because I always say I love to look at stuff on YouTube. And I hope still that people like to look at stuff on my videos too, as well as my grandchildren, which they watch all my videos. But in the context of this conversation of is YouTube going to take down the channels, I thought, well, I should be prepared just in case. So I thought, well, I'll download them all to a flash drive. And then I thought, well, I have 455 videos. What do I download them to? So I started hunting around on the internet, and I found a flash drive with 2 terabytes of memory, which is pretty incredible. And so it took me days to download the videos to the flash drive. But I'm happy to say that there is 455 videos on this flash drive, and I didn't check it out. I don't even think I used half of the memory. So I'm really happy about that. And like I said, I showed you, I put the link up on if you wanted to get one for yourself, and it was free shipping. So it was something with tax, 15 something plus tax, including tax, and free shipping. And I'm really glad I did this. And it came in this little Ziploc bag, and I just wrote on there my YouTube videos. And so it'll go in my drawer with my other important stuff. And now I don't have to worry if YouTube takes down my channel. I don't care. I got the videos. So if you're worried, go ahead and give it a shot. You go to, when you do your Creator Studio, for those of you that are not real into it, you can click on My Videos, and there'll be a button, 3 dots, and you click them, and it'll say download. And then you just download them, and it'll come up on my computer the way it did. It went into my downloads file, And then once it was there, I just right-clicked on it, and the Send To button came up, and I sent it to the flash drive. So that's how I did it, and it was painstaking because I kind of don't pay attention so good sometimes. But I finally got them on there. They're all there. And if you want to do it, you should probably go ahead and get yourself one of them flash drives and do it for yours too. And so I'm at the end of my video. I won't be putting up any more in the month of December. I actually will be working Christmas Day. I'm working 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's about 3 of us or 4 of us working in the emergency room that day. So all of you watching, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope that the new year is a better one for all of us than 2019 was. Merry Christmas, and thanks for watching.